So we will move then now to a little more information about the buyer and how is the buying process here a little bit in Portugal. So hold on, I'm not going to bother you with this detailed information. Just to give you an idea of how many papers, how many entities it involves. It's a very complicated process, but it doesn't have to be, because that's why we are here to help. Just to show you that the blue belongs to the seller. This is paperwork and documents and entities that the seller has to take care and to have all this documentation. The yellow, it belongs to the buyer. So some things that the buyer has to do in order to be able to buy the property. And then, as you can see, I have the real estate consultant all over the place in green. So because we are involved from the beginning until the end, and we check all this paperwork, we check all these details, and we are from the beginning until the end, until you have the title and until you have the keys of your new house. So you always have this help, and you don't need to feel alone in the process. So don't worry and don't be scared with this diagram.
That's why we are here. Again, Tuesday shows are for you, the buyer or the seller, always providing education, bringing professionals from all standpoints in real estate. Because it's the summer, we decided to actually address international purchases, because as you follow me, you know that I have properties for sale internationally. So if I do, why not address Portugal, my country, and to connect you with the professionals that will be helping you from the beginning to the end, identifying properties, having virtual showings. You can actually follow 𝗙𝗿𝗴𝗁𝗏𝗏 on Facebook and see their open houses. They post a lot of open houses there, and they do have their own MLS, so to speak. So they are going to provide you with properties that meet your requirement. That's fine. That's actually very important. Next, so before you go ahead and talk about visas, I wanted to address this. I had a lot of people asking me, because we have a lot of countries around the world where you can actually not have ownership. You can invest, but you will not really own the property, right? So for example, you know, China, you cannot own land. In the UK, you lease land for 100 years. There is a lot of other countries out there that you can. So people always ask me, will you own the land or the property in Portugal? How is it for foreigners to buy over there?
So here we have Fernando Pessoa on the side, a Portuguese poet. So before I move and show you a little bit of this diagram, I just want you to tell you that in 𝗙𝗿𝗴𝗁𝗏𝗏, so we work for our client, which is always first, comes always first, and we also work in collaboration within our team, but also with other agencies. So we work with other agencies here in Portugal. We also offer this complete service. So we have a lawyer that can help you, and we also have financial advice in case our clients need. So in terms of the buying process, here as we are talking with Claudia, the way we envision here to work is that Claudia will then have the information of what you are looking for, what you need or what you are thinking about when moving to Portugal, and then Claudia will forward this information, will share this information with me, and this is where I start the process of finding the properties that you would like to have, and this is the starting point here in Portugal, and now I'll also do a selection of properties. And I'll do the checking. So the goal here is to double check if they have what they must have, what they should have, what is nice to have, so that we can get a final selection that makes sense for the buyer to see. So also all that work in advance. If you also, as a refer, need financial advice, you can also provide that. We will give some more information ahead about that. And we will I prepare the visits. So I will schedule the visits for you. We can, nowadays, we can also do it virtual. So we can do a first visit, this is to say, virtually, and then you can come to Portugal, which is the best part. And we will have a proper schedule for you so that you can visit these properties with a proper planning, and that you can know what you are going to see. So this will be done then between the buyer and me and the consultant. With these visits, we are already preparing. Maybe you want to do a proposal, so we already I already collect some information with the seller, with my colleague, so that I can prepare a proposal in case the buyer wants to do it. And I help the buyer with this proposal in terms of what is the value, what are the terms that maybe the seller it's important for the seller, and some other criteria that can improve the possibilities of the proposal to be accepted. So we will work together with the buyer to prepare these proposals. And finally, we then, for closing the deal, we enter this space of negotiation that I will also be present with the buyer and the seller, so that we can be both sides happy, which is important, and we can have a final deal. Of course, as I told before, we always have a lawyer from the beginning until the end, so we always have this legal advice to help our clients as well. And when it's time to do the contract, we can do it in two different times. Usually we do this, what we call a CPCV, which is a seller and buyer contract, where we write all the terms and everything that both parts agree, and we sign this contract. And then usually more or less 3 months after, we do the final contract, the title, and then you receive the keys. So it's usually how it works. Of course, if it's possible, if the seller can leave the house earlier and you don't need financing, you can go directly to the title. You don't need to do these two contracts. You can do just one, and you have the house much sooner. It also works that way.
Absolutely. The most important thing here, everyone watching, is that you have a qualifying professional that can help you predefine what you're looking for, what would be the best way to go. And then you have your real estate agent in the country where you're planning to purchase, that has a system, that has a process, and it will be there for you every step of the way. If you are interested in discussing the purchasing process in more detail and define, just reach out to us. You can send me a message. We can schedule an appointment. We'll include Lucia with 𝗙𝗵𝗴 Lisbon, and we will help you define which direction to go. I know that Lucia is going to talk about financing, so we'll let her do that. But I wanted to say, address a question I've been getting lately, because I've been very proud sharing. We were doing this presentation today, so I got to talk to a lot of Americans that are indeed here in Texas looking to retire, and when they hear that, you know, we have good health care, that it's a safe country, that the money can go a long way when they retire, they're actually considering moving or going explore Portugal. Is that indeed, if you purchase cash, you have more leverage, you get everything done quicker and sooner, like anywhere else in the world. But one of the things that we have an advantage that is so different in many other countries is that as a foreign national, you can request a financial in Portugal. So you can get finance approval in Portugal. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Lucia?
Yes. Before I just need to address the taxes and expenses also information. So not going to read through the whole slide, but just to give you an idea that, of course, there is some expense for the title. And then there are two taxes, which is the property transfer tax, which in case of residential, it can go to 2% up to 7.5% of the selling price. And then the stamp duty, which is 0.8%. So these two taxes usually buy before you sign the title, and that's it. And we can see a little ahead how this works. And then yearly, you have another tax that you pay per year that is between 0.3 to 0.5% for residential and condominium. If you buy a house that you are going to live in permanently, you will have an exemption for 8 years of this municipal tax real estate. And then if you decide to, as we referred before, to buy property for investment that you then are going to lease to students or someone else, you need to consider that you have to deduct 28% of the lease value per year for taxes purposes. Okay, and then in terms of insurance, you can do, of course, other insurance. There is only one that is mandatory, which is the building insurance. And this is this is a reference, an example, around $170 for a 1,076 square feet condominium. So this is just for you to get an idea how much it will cost you per year. Not that much, I think.
Not at all. Compared to here, it's quite affordable. And I believe it's specific to fire hazards, correct? So the building insurance is specific to fire hazards.
Yes. Then you can add some more things, and yeah, but this is the part that is mandatory for you to have as an owner of a property here in Portugal. Okay, so then also for as we are talking about the mortgage, here then just a very light information. You as a foreigner can have a mortgage here. So the majority of the banks here are open to have foreigner clients. This is not a problem. It's not a complicated process. And then you can have financing for, you know, you have to decide the number of years. But of course, you need to have this professional stability or some income, some financial capacity that they need to do the analysis. And you just apply as maybe you do there. And you will have an answer from the bank. Here we also do this for our clients. So we have someone in our agency that can provide this service to our clients. We work with several banks, so it's not complicated. So you can also consider that if you need financing, it's also an option for foreigner buyers. No problem.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucia. And if you're looking to retire and you were wondering, can we still qualify for a loan? Yes. I know that rules and regulations are different depending on your age and what is the stage, but retirement is considered income. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, we are almost done.